Hey, what's up soldiers? My name is Greg FPS, Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome back to another video here today on the channel. Today what I have for you guys is a guide on how to beat the Mamaback on round 64 and get the trophy reunited with Fidolina. Also have the possibility of getting pristine pelts as well as topple Mama calling cards. So this video is going to be pretty in depth. I'm going to go round by round all the way from 1 through 64 and basically explain everything that you're going to come up against and also the best strategy for each of the different maps that you're going to be playing on all the way through the entire game. Hope this video does help you out, and if it does, please do me a favor and drop a like and subscribe if you guys are new. It really lets me know that you guys are enjoying the Dead Ops Arcade content. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to do is pick Dead Ops Arcade first person solo. This is going to be a solo guide, and it's for players that don't really play Dead Ops Arcade. On round 1, you're going to grab the key that drops right in the middle. Make sure you grab it and it doesn't disappear. And then you're just going to make your way through the first 4 rounds. They're extremely easy and really straightforward. And then you're going to go into the portal to the wild. Once you get in the wild, you can destroy all the heads, explore, get a bunch of loot and keys, and also go into the deadly dungeons. There's a total of 4 of them. In the first one that I went into, right in the starting area of the wild, I ended up getting a Margwa in the dungeon, which means I can get 2 fates, and I was lucky enough to get the fate of firepower, which is having a death machine for the entire game. This is the fate that you guys are going to want to get. You don't necessarily have to get it from a Margwa, but it definitely does help, especially if you can have 2 fates right at the start of the game. So the Margwa downed me, and then I just pieced out of that dungeon and kept on going through the wild. I went into the abandoned temple over here where there are 2 megatons that spawn. You can pop a nuke and run directly into them, or you can shoot them. And since I had a death machine, I figured I would just shoot them. It'd be a lot easier. And you can get 4 boosts in here, which you're definitely going to want to get, and some loot, like gold, silver, stuff like that from chests. You're also going to need to get all the keys. I'm going to have a key guide linked down below, like I already mentioned. And this is going to be extremely important. You need keys in order to be successful. Eventually you'll make it all the way to the Room of Fate, and I'll have a guide down below on how to get to the Room of Fate on round 4. And what you're going to want to do is pick the fate of firepower, but since I already had it, I recommend that you also get feet if possible. But obviously if you can only get 1 fate and you didn't get any Margwas in the dungeons, just get firepower. It's going to help you guys out the most while you're doing this and completing it for sure. Alright guys, so on round 5, you're going to get the first challenge round where you get brawlers and gladiators from the map 9. Gladiators are going to throw their axes, and there'll be a red indicator that appears on the ground, so make sure you stay out of the way, and brawlers will lunge towards you just like on 9. With the death machine equipped or firepower, you should have no problem killing them, and they should be really easy to kill. One thing I want to mention while you're playing Dead Ops Arcade 3 is that each round will increase during a day. So the first round will be morning, second round will be during the day, like afternoon area. The next one will be in the evening, so it's a little bit darker as you can see, and it looks like the sun's going down. And then last but not least, the last and final round in each area is going to be the nighttime. During the nighttime, it does look really nice, but it's also a little bit more challenging. And also, one thing about this particular map as well is you can use the traps to your advantage. There's a flogger and there's blade traps from 9 that you can run zombies through to make the rounds go a little bit easier, so you don't have to worry about killing all of the zombies particularly. Obviously, there's a bunch of drops you can get on the ground as well as far as guns go. The drops that I would recommend getting with the death machine is just death machine drops, and that's literally it because it's the best. The shotgun is the second best, which you can also get, but I would recommend just sticking with the death machine the whole game. Then you're going to teleport into the next area on round 9, which is barely making it. There's a bunch of zombies that spawn with barrels, and they are explosive barrels, of course. There's also a bunch lying around the entire map. So what you want to do is shoot all the zombies carrying barrels, and if a horde of zombies runs in the path of that barrel where it dropped, shoot the barrel and explode it. You can also just destroy all the barrels that you see because they do have a timer, and eventually they'll tick down and explode on detonation. So you do not want to be close to them when they explode because you literally will down and it deals a lot of damage. Next up guys, on round 13 is the Coliseum. In my opinion, this is the hardest early stage in Dead Ops Arcade 3 because it's so close quarters. Now, what I would recommend doing is staying on the bottom floor and kind of avoid the stairs if possible. But if you find yourself getting stuck down there and you need to go up the stairs, then just do it. But remember, you have nukes, you have boosts, use them to your advantage on this stage because it can be very, very tricky. And especially with all the different spawn points up above, in the middle, left, right, front of you, zombies are going to get really, really hectic. And this is probably one of the hardest stages in the entire game because I can't even make it past the second one. So next up, guys, once you complete that entire stage, day, evening, and night, then you're going to get to the next challenge round on round 17 called They Come From Above. Basically, a bunch of zombies are going to spawn out of the ground all the way around in a circle formation. Once you kill all those, more will spawn, and there's 5 different waves, and the last and final wave are really, really fast zombies. So I recommend just popping a nuke to end off that entire round. All right, guys, on round 21, you're going to get these shadow boogie rounds, and these are basically shadow ghost type things that will spawn out of the middle of the map by ravens. They go to a different area. Every time you shoot one of them, they're going to move to a different area on the layout of the map. Now, this area is pretty big, so you have plenty of space to move around freely. Just keep moving forward around in a circle and shoot anything in front of you. If there's nothing in front of you at the time, you can turn around and shoot the ones falling behind you. Do not pop nukes on this map because it will cause more of them to spawn, which you definitely don't want to see. This area is pretty easy. Next up, guys, is going to be another challenge round, and this time it's going to be the Spectral Ghost from Blood of the Dead. Bad map. Anyways, all you're going to do is go around in a circle and just continue to shoot these ghosts. They die extremely easy. This is by far the easiest challenge round out of all of them. So it's definitely really, really easy to do, and you should be perfectly fine. The next challenge round is on round 29. You're going to get the first underboss battle with a Giganese from Ancient Evil. Now, this guy is obviously pretty strong. You do not want to be near his shield blast because it will stun the hell out of you. And also just be careful of all the zombies. You kind of want to train around in this bottom area while you're shooting the Giganese, but just make sure you stay away from him because he will hit you with his big sword that he has. And also the stun can be really, really annoying. So if you need to not take any damage, just pop a nuke and you should be okay. And try to use dashes if you need to. You do not want to get stunned when you're right next to a horde of zombies because you will get screwed over so quickly. Luckily, I got an arcade machine to kill basically all the zombies that were attacking me, which made it very, very easy to deal with. Now, once you end up killing the Giganese, the only thing that will be left on the round potentially is shadow boogies. So as you can see, I killed the Giganese and there was still a shadow boogie, so the round didn't end. But you should be fine. So as far as rounds go on this area, all you want to do is stay in this like big open area of the map. Do not go in the water if it's bubbling because it actually will damage you, because it's basically a hot spring. So if it's bubbling, don't go in the water because it will damage you. But basically you can just keep going around in circles in this area and use dashes and boosts or nukes if you need to. You should be perfectly fine just going around. Next up, guys, on round 33 is the next challenge round, which is called Electro Zombie Therapy, where there's electric zombies that are going to come out of each of the barriers. Now, if you don't kill an electric zombie fast enough, it's actually going to become an electric pole. So eventually, later on in the rounds, you could have a ton of electric poles if you don't kill this round fast enough. I didn't really have too many in solo. You should be fine with a death machine, no problem. But obviously, you want to avoid those because they can do a lot of damage to you if you accidentally run into them, of course, but they can also kill zombies, which is nice. Next up, guys, on round 38 or 7 rather, is going to be the next underboss battle, which is with a Blight Father. Now the Blight Father is going to lay eggs which turn into Nova Crawlers, and the Nova Crawlers, if they shoot at zombies, they will actually make the zombies faster, and if you get hit with any damage from the Nova Crawlers, they will slow you down. So you really need to make sure you kill these as quickly as possible, but also try to kill the Blight Father at the same time. You definitely are going to want to pop nukes on this round because it can be very tricky and very hard to deal with. This is probably one of the hardest challenge rounds. Although the Blight Father dies really quickly, the Nova Crawlers make it a pain in the butt and you have to worry about Nova Crawlers for the rest of the game after this point. So just keep killing the Nova Crawlers, pop nukes if you need to, and just go right up to the Blightfather and drop nukes to get that extra damage in while you're invulnerable to damage. But anyways, guys, let's get into the next challenge round. All right, guys, so the next one is by far the hardest challenge round, and it's the meatballs from Shadows of Evil. Now, they have 3 different sizes. There's a large one. When you destroy the large one, 2 medium-sized ones will spawn, and then when each medium one that you destroy will spawn 2 small meatballs. Now, each meatball, no matter what size it is, if it hits you head on, it's going to deal 95% damage to you. So it's really, really easy to go down on this level. So I recommend just going around in circles and shooting every single meatball that is directly in front of you. And if there's nothing in front of you, shoot the ones falling behind you. There are a lot of meatballs on this round, and it's super, super difficult. If you make it through the entire round, there's a slope that has 3 nukes on it. You can use a boost and go up and grab the nukes on the slope. Now, obviously, I was maxed out in this game, so I couldn't actually collect any, but make sure if you need nukes, you can get 3 of them at the end of the round there. And this map is really, really hard overall. Next up, guys, on round 45 is going to be the next challenge round, where you're going to end up getting ghost dogs or spectral hounds that are going to spawn. What you want to do is just keep going around in circles. Every time you see one of them, just kill them as they're running onto like the player space of the map. And eventually later on in the round, one of the big werewolves is going to spawn from Dead of the Night. Now, the werewolves are pretty annoying in this game, I would say, just because they launch forward really far. I was lucky enough right here to get a helicopter, so I could deal a lot of damage to the werewolf and the zombies. But if you kill all the zombies on the round and you don't kill the werewolf, only the werewolf will be left. So I recommend killing all the zombies to get that round over with, and you should be all set. All right, guys, next up is going to be another challenge round, and this time it's going to be a bunch of wardens or brutuses that will drop directly out of the sky and just land on the player space of the map. Now, I recommend staying down in this bottom area. There's stairs that you can go on, but you can really only utilize the stairs if you're playing a co-op game where you can camp. So these brutuses deal a good amount of damage as well if they hit you, so definitely be careful about that. But they do take a lot of damage as well. You deal about 80 damage points every time you hit a zombie with a death machine, and these guys take 5,000 damage to kill. And if you shoot one of them or damage them at all, they're going to start running. So basically just go around in circles. The next area on round 53 is Mamaback's house, and all you have to do is camp here the entire time you are playing on this map. Just camp back here, shoot all the zombies coming out of the doorway and straight ahead of the ones that spawn in like the yard and stuff like that. This is by far the easiest area of probably the entire game. As long as you have a death machine, you have no problem camping for this entire map overall. It's so easy. But next up, guys, on round 57, there's a pretty hard area that you're going to be training in, and it's up here. So there are a bunch of fireballs that come out of the map. There's also a dragon head that is blocking one of the doorways, so you can kill a lot of zombies, which is really nice about this spot up here. Now, the bear rug is going to shoot fireballs out of the front of its mouth, so don't go in front of the bear at all. What you want to do is, like, if you're going to be going around in circles, I kind of recommend doing like a figure 8 pattern. That's what I usually do, and try to kill and train around. If you need to, use boosts and nukes, but basically you're just doing a figure 8 pattern around this entire area, and you should be okay. It's really not that bad, but just don't go in front of the bear, because if you get hit with a fireball, it's going to deal a lot of damage to you, which you definitely do not want to see this late in the game. All right, guys, so at the end of round 60 in that area, you're going to get a teleporter to the wild. We have to go back into the wild. Now, basically, you're just going to be following a path the entire time. Eventually, you'll get to a skull area, and that's where you're going to go inside of it. But at least for the beginning part, in the water, just shoot the Brutuses that always spawn while you're staying in the water. So basically, you're just going to go through a very long-winded path all the way over to that area. It's really hard to explain, but basically, you just keep working your way up, and eventually you'll get to the point that you need to be in. Now there is a part with giganees that you need to be careful of, and don't go in the water at all in this area because you will get damaged. Once you kill the giganees like I just did in this specific area, there's actually a secret area where you can get nukes and also boosts. So I recommend doing this every single time. On round 60, there's like a secret area back here with a spawn of Nova crawlers. You want to destroy that head, and then there's 2 nukes and 2 boosts that you can get in this area. It is really, really nice, and having 2 of each is so perfect right before you go into the last area. So then you're going to make your way over here through this building and up these stairs, and there's like a plank to walk across into the skull. In this area, you're going to get some of the gladiator skulls spawn from Ancient Evil, so you want to destroy all those heads. And there's also a massive skeleton that spawns that is going to be basically a bigger version, and this is like the boss of this area. As you can see, it's definitely huge. So all you want to do is shoot the abdomen of the big skeleton boss, and there's also Brutuses in this area, so you need to be careful of those as well. Make sure you take those out as quickly as you can, but you're just going to be shooting the abdomen of this big skeleton. It's actually going to shoot like shots at you and also spawn more skeletons, so just be careful the entire time. This boss is honestly pretty easy. Just don't let it get too close to you, and you should be all right. So once you finish this, guys, then you're going to make the last teleportation out of the wild into the final boss fight arena. As soon as you get to the new boss fight arena on round 61, a Margwa is going to spawn in as the underboss battle. Margwas are obviously very, very tough, and they can slam you and deal a lot of damage. And when you have a lot of zombies running at you in this small confined area of a map, it can be really, really hard. I end up downing right after I kill the Margwa just from zombies, and you're going to have a full round after you kill the Margwa and during the entire time shooting the Margwa as well. So you really need to be careful. There's going to be a lot of pulls and just a lot of zombies, meatballs, bosses, all that stuff coming at you the entire time. It gets very, very difficult on this map and stage area, so be really careful. So eventually, as you can see, I just down there after I killed the Margwa, which is pretty annoying. But every time you go down, you have 8 seconds of invulnerability to run into zombies and stuff. So at the end of round 64 is when the actual boss fight itself starts with the Mamaback, and it's going to say boss fight, and that's when the Mamaback spawns in. Now, there are a few things you need to worry about with the Mamaback. She ends up dropping some banana bombs, which will slow you down and make you super, super slow. And also, if you drop a nuke, she will jump up in the air and then land somewhere else. She'll like bounce up and down a couple times. Also, she will like zoom around the map back and forth, so you want to stay out of the way of that as well. So there's a lot of things going on this entire time, but overall, just keep going around in circles, avoiding zombies and shooting her whenever she's like running at you and you have the ability to actually shoot. Now, I recommend saving as many boosts as you can for this part of the boss fight, because it's the easiest way to maneuver around the map and not have to worry about the Mamaback going up in the air when you drop nukes. But obviously, since there are so many zombies around you, you definitely want to pop nukes as well, to clear out as many zombies as you can until they spawn back in. But just keep going around in circles and be very, very careful of the Mamaback. Chances are you're probably going to down. Like, she just landed on me right there and I downed, of course, you know. So it's not the easiest thing to get pristine pelt, which is the calling card for not downing in the entire boss fight. But if you're going to want to go for that one, I recommend playing co-op. It's going to be a lot easier. Luckily for me, I got a helicopter, so I could deal a good amount of damage to the Mamaback with the helicopter. But eventually, guys, as you go around enough, you're eventually going to be able to kill the Mamaback. Now, the reason you got firepower for the entire game, especially in the beginning, is because it's the fastest way to kill the Mamaback, as you can see. So anyways, guys, that is my full guide for Dead Ops Arcade and beating Dead Ops Arcade. If you have any questions, you can tweet me, GregFPS, on Twitter, and I will try to respond to you guys as quickly as I possibly can. You can also comment down below, and if you guys are looking to party up and play with other people, you can comment your gamer tags down below, and I'm sure many people will check it out and also try to respond to you guys and play together. That would be awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching. If this video did help you out, please do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe if you're new. My name is Greg FPS, Zombies Extraordinaire, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.